Good evening, everyone. My name is James McGuire, and I'm the graduate coordinator for AIMS. And here's our lovely graduate school panel. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Sure. Get myself together. My name is Louis Leyva. I am a second-year PhD student in mathematics education. I went to Rutgers. I pursued a mathematics degree and a master's in mathematics education. And my research is educational equity, looking at race, gender, and sexuality in mathematics.
Hi, I'm Brandon Bogus. I'm a fifth-year PhD student in the food science program here. I graduated in 2008 from Juniata College with a bachelor's in chemistry. I started doing undergraduate research there, working on organic synthesis, and now I focus on measuring volatile products coming from fats and oils.
Hi, I'm Carly Tasker. I'm a second-year student in the PhD program at UMDNJ in Newark. And I graduated from Rutgers in 2011 and got my BA in biology and history. Right now I'm studying HIV and the effects of hormones and hormonal contraceptives on HIV infection.
Hi, my name is Pamela Barrios. I went to Douglas College and I got my degree in nutritional science, and then I came back to get my PhD. I'm a second-year student and I'm doing nutritional epidemiology. I'm currently looking into the effects of nutrition or maternal autonomy and child nutrition.
Excellent. So I'll get started with the first question. How did each of you finance your education? We can start from there.
My advisor usually finds a TA position for me, so I teach.
The nice thing about the programs at my school is that they give you a stipend, which is around like $26,000 a year, so that pretty much pays for everything that you need. You don't have a lot of extra money, but it's enough.
For me, for undergraduate, I 50-50 split the cost with my parents. And then for graduate school, I've had a few different funding opportunities. I worked in residence life as a hall director for a few years. I also worked on Bush on the science bus, working as a fellow, going to middle schools. A lot of universities have a position like that. And then I've also had a position where I've been a GA with my advisor, which is a graduate assistant, where they pay you a stipend throughout the year, and all your responsibilities are doing research for them.
Undergraduate, master's, and J-class loans. And then my graduate career, I'm a teaching assistant at the Rutgers Graduate School of Education.
Excellent. So kind of a tricky question. Can you guys talk a little bit about your failures along the way? If you guys need some time to think,
That's tough.
please.
I can talk about that. My second semester, I was working on a little bit of an accelerated coursework, but I ended up taking Organic Chemistry 2, Calc 2, and Physics 2, and it was just too much. So you learn that lesson the hard way. You have to kind of figure out what you want to do as far as making sacrifices with what classes you can end managing. So I think for me that my first kind of mistake in college was probably overexerting myself my second semester.
Yeah, I kind of was the same way. Coming from high school into college, the courses were a lot more difficult than what I was used to in high school. So just like figuring out how to study and prepare for your classes was kind of a learning curve for me. So if I had maybe known that a little bit sooner, I think it definitely would have helped.
I think mine is related to classes as well, but I was also an RA as an undergrad, so I had to do a lot with time management. I wasn't budgeting my time properly, so I let my academics go a little bit for like a semester, but that was really scary for me, so I quickly changed my time management skills.
I think the transition from high school to college, in high school I was like an independent-minded person, so kind of like I would dread doing group projects and whatnot. So then it was in college and I really realized that, working with others and having different perspectives and collaborating on things was really what allowed you to kind of pursue a STEM, especially a STEM major when it's really challenging courses and you guys are in it together. And then even in graduate school now, I have part of writing groups and reading seminars, and all you do is you flock together and you collaborate.
Excellent. What are the most important skills that you gained in your undergraduate years that you still use today?
I think keeping an open mind is one. In terms of academics, I remember going in thinking that I was gung-ho about mathematics and taking an anthropology course. And I remember sitting in that class and thinking to myself, am I ever really going to use any of this? And it's now I'm sitting in an anthropology of gender seminar course going, I am using this. So keeping an open mind as to, you know, if there's a class that just tickles your interest just a little bit, and it probably deviates a little bit from what you're thinking about doing in your future, take the class, right? You know, see if it lines up with one of your requirements, and see how you enjoy it, because you never know when you might sit in that class and go, wow, I'm using this.
I'd say critical thinking skills, being able to develop those over the first year or two when you're taking lower levels, and I mean that just being able to figure out exactly what way you learn, whether it's taping lectures, taking copious amounts of notes, reading the textbook multiple times, highlighting. So I think that being able to develop exactly what my learning style was is something that was important.
I think for me, the most useful thing was just study skills, and I was managing 2 majors at the same time, so just learning how to efficiently use my time and get all the material down that I need to. It definitely helped me so much when I got to graduate school, when courses actually got even more difficult than they were in undergraduate. So just having those skills and knowing what I need to do to learn the material just helped me tremendously.
Not to say that studying isn't important, but I feel like I was an RA as an undergrad, and you're always public speaking. You're always so comfortable talking to other people. So when I started teaching as a graduate student, that just came easy for me, just to talk in front of a large group. And then when I go to conferences now and I present my posters, it's so easy for me to network because you just have that skill. It's a different thing that, yes, you know your science, you know your background, but if you're not communicating, if you're not establishing those bridges or that networking, what's going to happen when you're done with grad school? You know, that's important for you to have that ability to talk to people. So.
How did you go about seeking internships and research positions?
Well, in terms of research positions, there's in our department, in the education department, various faculty members are working on different projects. So I usually like to meet new faculty, usually network during different social gatherings that you have in your department. You kind of see what everybody's working on, and you kind of talk about what your personal interests are, what your academic interests, and see if they line up, and see if there's an opportunity for you to kind of start something. You might start something with really basic in terms of research positions, like just gathering data and whatnot, and then little by little it begins to evolve. You start to write a paper, you start presenting at different conferences. So even though as small as a position it might be at the very beginning, start with that, and you'll see that it will grow over time.
I would say for me, it was talking to upperclassmen, thinking about what their experiences was, talking to them. And then I know this sounds pretty simple, but really just going on to Google and typing in research experience for undergraduates. Like there's lots of different opportunities on there, and it's really simple. Those are really selective, and there's probably a lot of people applying for them, but just finding out about these opportunities is the first step. And then also in my department in food science, there are constantly employers coming in looking for interns, so paying attention to flyers and paying attention to emails coming from the administrative assistants and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think for me it was just doing the research and looking for what opportunities there were. I did research over the summer full-time when I was an undergraduate, and I was living at home, so I actually found Rutgers Research Extension Centers, which are all around the state, including South Jersey. So I was able to find a Rutgers Research Lab that was doing science and interested me, really close to home. So it was just like getting information and finding out the opportunities. You can make it work no matter